Oh man, finally, I am back. What's up, my people? I hope that wherever you are today, you are having a fantastic day. It is a beautiful day. Beautiful day. You know, here in Texas, we've gotten a lot of rain, and in some parts of Texas, that has brought a lot of tragedy. And my heart goes out to those families that are coping with that. If you don't know, check out the news. As of filming of this, there's just a lot of heartache in our state right now. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and a lot of things have been happening. But you know, like you can see behind me, flowers are in bloom all over our place, and so amidst tragedy there is beauty. So all of that said, and things are in the studio are really good and really interesting. Just finished an icon. Every time I finish one of these, it's just, I step back, I'm like, man, that's entirely too cool to have come from my person. So excited about that. That is in one of my favorite places, on sale right now. I've got artwork at the Hotel McCoy. That's exciting. Just a lot of good things going on in the studio. Meeting with some people here pretty soon to look for some other opportunities. It's just been a really fun summer to get to make the things that I care about a lot. So things in the studio are great. Not a whole lot to report other than that. But today, what I want to talk about is probably going to be my last video on self-care for a while. I'm going to do some things different going forward, some things on my heart that I really want to talk about. And so the next few videos are going to be about that stuff. But before I do that, before I get into that, and before more ants bite my feet, it's fine. I want to talk about something that I mentioned about a month ago in one of my videos, and that is the Earth Runner sandals that I have been wearing now for a little bit over a month, almost a month and a half. And I want to talk about two things. Number one, my overall opinion about wearing these. Was it worth it? Are they a good investment? You know, they're a little bit on the pricey side when it comes to sandals. And if you do buy them, what are some things that I wish people had told me to do in one video? Like, just give me one video, because it took, I think, multiple Reddit pages and several YouTube videos to kind of piece all these different things together. So I'm hoping to put one video together to help you if you're going to buy Earth Runner sandals, how to make that experience more enjoyable. So let's dive into that. You know, about a month ago, I wanted to go more into the minimalist shoe experience and strengthen my feet. The CEO of Zero Shoes made some really compelling arguments in some podcasts that I listened to, and I wanted to give that a try. And so middle of May, I purchased my pair of Earth Runner sandals. Now, these are the Earth Runner Primal sandals. The more popular version just didn't seem to appeal to me as much. I think they're probably actually their better sandal, and they are reviewed more highly than the Primals, but the Primals fit my budget and they fit what I wanted out of a minimalist shoe experience. So I purchased those. They are, in terms of price range, I feel like they're very reasonably priced for what you are getting. You know, about 70 bucks US, you get a made in the US, high quality, very, very durable sandal. And my experience with them so far has been twofold. Number one, the break-in period is as intense as people on the internet have said before. If you want a sandal, and this is probably my only negative critique, if you want a sandal that is instantaneously comfortable, Earth Runners is not for you. They are not comfortable up front. Now, to be fair, I bought the higher end, the endurance strap sandals. So with the Earth Runners, you can get 3 different versions of the strap that goes in between your toes and around your ankle. And it's all one loop system, right? So it's just one lace that goes all the way around and loops around all your stuff and holds it together. And there's 3 versions of that. There's the more comfortable version, less durable. There's the middle of the road version. and there's the endurance version, which is the higher end, longer lasting, but less comfortable sandal, strap. Blech, do that all over again. The endurance is the one I bought, and it is by far the least comfortable and the most durable. So there's a trade-off, right? It's like Thomas Sowell said, there are no solutions, just trade-offs. And I wanted something that I knew would last longer, because I'm a pretty active guy, spend a lot of time outdoors, a lot of time hiking and camping and doing stuff like that, and I wanted something that I knew would last. So I went with the less comfortable. Well, now I will tell you that up front, I'm never going back. Like, this is it for me. This is all I need for my feet, period. Now, it is summer in Texas, and I haven't gotten to winter. Earth Runners makes a pair of what I believe are wool toe socks, and I'm probably going to try that first before I look at like an enclosed minimalist shoe. But I wear these all day, every day. This is all I wear when I go places, except for Mass. I wear boots, because you don't go to Mass in sandals. That's just not okay. But everywhere else, literally everywhere else, I just wear these shoes. And I will tell you, after I got them broken in, these have been the best sandal I've ever owned. I have hiked up and down rocky terrain. I have hiked in and through the woods. I've been to the river. I've been up and down all kinds of different areas, and all of that was done off grid, so I didn't have any video recording, so sorry I don't have video to show you that. But I've done multiple different things with these sandals, and at no point was I disappointed with their performance. Traction, the ability, like you can see all the grooves, like the ability to move around the different versions of terrain that I've been on was exceedingly good. They're very comfortable, very, very comfortable once they are broken in. The breaking in phase is not comfortable, and if you want comfortable sandals, this is not for you. You need to be prepared to embrace the suck, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second when I talk about how to break them in. But overall, I've been really pleased with these. You know, the other thing that I would say is a negative, is only a negative depending on your level of vanity. If you don't mind looking weird, which I obviously don't mind, then these shoes are great. But they do have that kind of like Jesus sandal feeling, and I've been in multiple places where people have commented on my shoes and why I wear them, and that's fine, I don't care. But they're not like a normal looking shoe, and if you have pasty white feet like I do, some people are going to comment about how bright and shiny your feet are. That's also fine, I don't care about that either. But if you don't want to stand out in a crowd and you don't want to look weird based on your footwear, probably not for you. But other than that, I have thoroughly enjoyed my Earth Runner sandals. They're made in the USA, high quality, they're made to order, so they don't make these until you get them, until you order them, and then it takes a few days to put them together, and then they send them to you. I appreciate that a lot. I was a little impatient, I wanted them faster than they got here, but that's just because I struggle with patience, not because they're a bad company or a bad product. I'm just not a super patient person. But once I got them, they've been fantastic. I love these. I wear them all the time. Easy on and off. You don't have to adjust the strap very often. Once you get them set to your feet, they slip on, slip off. They're easy go. I think they look nice with a pair of chinos and a t-shirt or a button down. I have worn my sandals with, you know, a nice pair of chinos and a linen shirt and a waistcoat, and I feel like I look pretty good. Not that that matters, but it's not off-putting. I don't feel like I look completely outside of the norm. But overall, fantastic sandals. Very good for the minimalist feel. I can definitely tell my feet are changing and have gotten stronger. I don't have a lot of the foot problems I used to have, like plantar fasciitis and some pain in my midfoot. A lot of that has just gone away, and I'm very thankful for that. So if you're looking for a minimalist sandal and you don't mind a brief break-in period, I highly recommend Earth Runners, the Primal. Their sandal right above that, the name escapes me at the moment, starts with the C, has the canvas pad on top of the footbed. They're also really good. I haven't tried those yet, so I can't recommend them to you, but if you want just a basic bare bones minimalist sandal, Earth Runners is definitely for you. Now, if you are looking at buying some minimalist sandals, let's say you're like, yeah, I'm in, I want to buy them, what do I do? Here's what I would tell you for the break-in period. If you get the endurance laces, which that's been my only experience so far, but I'm assuming that if these things work for the tougher, least comfortable strap, then they work for the other ones as well. And the other ones are just gonna be more comfortable more quickly. That's my guess. Here's what I will tell you. There are 3 things that you need to do. Number 1, you need to break them in slowly. When these came in the mail, I broke them open and I wore them for like 2 or 3 hours the first night. I went to an event with some friends of mine and just had them on my feet for a couple of hours. I didn't actually do a whole lot of walking around. The little bit of walking around that I did was not comfortable. It wasn't painful. I wasn't like, I didn't feel like somebody was stabbing my foot with a spear. But I could tell that they were gonna need some breaking in. The mistake I made was I was so excited to wear my Earth Runners that I wore them for the entire work day the day after. It was an 8-hour on my feet teaching students, and I wore them the whole day. That was a mistake. I do not recommend that. I would say if you're gonna get these, break them in 2 or 3 hours the first day, 2 to 4 hours the next day, 4 to 6 hours, like do it over the span of 4 or 5 days. That would have been wiser. Now, having said that, I got through it, and I think these broke in faster for me because I did that. So it took me a week to get moderately comfortable in my sandals. It took 2 weeks where I didn't have any discomfort at all. And I would say if you break them in a little bit more slowly, that's probably still gonna be the same. So, looking back, what I probably would have done is I would have worn these for the morning, took boots with me, wore my boots for the second half of the day just to keep my feet a little bit more comfortable, and then I would have done that for 2 or 3 days and then wore them exclusively after that. So that's the first part. Give it time to break in. They are not comfortable out of the box, and that's fine if you don't mind it, because on the other side of that, like, they're worth it. I'll tell you, they're worth the discomfort in the beginning, because if you are tough, they'll break in for you and you'll enjoy them and they'll be great. The second thing you want to do, and I did this day 1 because I saw it in a Reddit, somebody had talked about putting band-aids in between your toes, because this strap goes in between your middle and your first toe. Yeah, sorry, that's not right. It goes in between your big toe and your first toe. And in the beginning, this strap is really uncomfortable. Like, yeah, a lot uncomfortable. And I knew that going into it. If you buy Earth Runners and you think these are gonna be outside of the box, then you haven't done your research. Like, if you think they're gonna be outside of the box comfortable, you haven't done your research, because they are not. But that's okay. And the thing I saw the most from people was that they would talk about having blisters in between their toes, or some chafing, or all of those things. And one of the pieces of advice I found on the internet was people would talk about put band-aids in between your big toe and your first toe. I don't like that because I feel like band-aids fall, or they rub off too fast. So what I did was I took a longer strip of duct tape and I wrapped it from underneath my foot, in between my big toe and my first toe, and then down the direction that the strap goes. So the duct tape followed this angle of the strap, and I did it up until about my midfoot. So it was about, this much duct tape. And I did that every day for the first week. I think it was 7 days. And what I noticed is that I had zero chafing, zero blisters, and the discomfort in between the toes went away pretty quickly. I mean, it was like a couple, 2-3 days, and I didn't have the same level of discomfort in between my toes that I did on the first day. And then by the end of the week, there was zero discomfort, and I didn't need the duct tape anymore. That was pretty great. I am very thankful that I did that. The duct tape worked for me. That's what I would tell you. Now, if that seems weird to you and you just want to do band-aids, cool, go for the band-aids. That will work also. But one of the things that I did was I made the strip of duct tape like as wide as the strap. So it laid underneath the strap and nobody could tell that I had duct tape on my feet. It wasn't weird. My daughter asked me why I had duct tape on my feet. That was fine. But that was the most helpful thing I think that I did in breaking in my sandals. The other thing that I did was pretty routinely fidgeted with the lace system. So every day I was trying to adjust it a little bit more, a little bit snugger, a little bit less snug. And it took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks before the lace system got to where I didn't have to adjust it anymore. And I think there's some expanding and contract, you know, there's some things that happen in the laces that, you know, as they mold to your feet, as they stretch out a little bit, it took some adjustment. You know, a lot of time I wasn't doing a lot of long walks or a lot of long hikes. And I noticed that if I were to go for a longer hike, then I would have to adjust the strap system somewhere in the middle of that hike because it just seemed to loosen a little bit. And I don't think that was because this loosened. I think it was just because my foot adjusted and the strap adjusted, and I need to make it a little bit snugger. So if you're gonna do the Earth Runners and you wanna make them a regular part of your daily wear, those are the 3 things I would recommend. Number 1, break them in slowly over a longer period of time. Number 2, put something in between your toes, whether it's a Band-Aid or duct tape or something like that, athletic tape. Put something in between your toes for the first 5 to 7 days, and then be okay with regularly adjusting the laces, or the lace, the one lace system, because it will take some adjusting to make these fit the way you want them to fit. I love my sandals. I'm probably gonna wear them forever until I get another pair. They just work for me. They're very comfortable. And I like the way my feet feel. Like, I just feel stronger. Now, there's one other thing that I did want to talk about that makes Earth Runners different, and that's the grounding system. So you have this copper pad here that's connected to steel wire in the lacing. That's part of what makes these uncomfortable. It's the way they're laced with the wire on the inside. And, you know, for the last month, my wife and I have made, well, that happened. My camera ran out of space. Okay, so what I was saying, you know, for the last month and a half, my wife and I have made grounding a pretty regular part of our day. We try to get outside, get our feet, hands, body on the actual earth. And when I haven't done that, I've noticed. When I have done that, I've noticed. Now, part of the attraction for me of the Earth Runner sandal was this grounding system, so that even when I'm out hiking or I'm out in the woods somewhere, I can still ground while having my sandals on. That's been pretty great. Now, here's what I'm going to say about grounding so far after, you know, a month in. I have noticed it makes me feel better. And like Andrew Huberman and several other people have said, I don't know if that's specifically because of the grounding or because just some of the lifestyle things that I do, and grounding happens to be a part of that. That has helped a lot. I've noticed I move better, I feel better, and I think grounding is a part of that. I don't have any science to back that up. There are people that have proved that Earth Runner sandals do in fact ground you, and that's enough for me. That's all I need to know. But what I will say about grounding is that it is great, but it will not fix bad habits. So if you're eating a lot of inflammatory foods, a lot of processed foods, a lot of processed grains, a lot of sugars, if you're doing inflammatory things, grounding will not fix you. And it will not help you at all. Well, it's extreme. It won't help you a lot. But if you have an overall healthy lifestyle, grounding is can be a great part of that, and I highly recommend it. The other thing I'll say is one last thought. I think it was the guys from Strength Side, their mobility movement channel, and I like them a lot. They've helped me a lot with body weight movement and mobility and just getting my body to move better. And they made a good point. I think the CEO from Zero Shoes, he made the same point, that going to a minimalist shoe, if you want to go to a minimalist shoe to fix your feet, to walk better, to be stronger, that's great, do that. But the minimalist sandal, the minimalist shoe will not in any way, shape, form, or fashion help you if you're walking the same way you used to walk in big cushion shoes. If your walking style is just like it was when you were wearing big old thick tennis shoes, minimalist shoes won't fix that. You're gonna have to change the way you walk. I had to change the way I walk. I did a lot Oh, I don't remember what the video is called, but Zero Shoes has a video where it talks about changing your gait pattern, how you walk, and what's a more natural way to walk based on how our feet are biomechanically engineered. If you're going to do a minimalist sandal like the Earth Runners, you have to change how you walk. If you hard heel strike in minimalist shoes or sandals, it's gonna suck and it will not feel good. So if you're gonna go down that route like I did, it's 100% worth it. Absolutely fundamentally worth it. But you gotta be willing to change some things. Do some walking around in your backyard and change the way in which you walk so that the shoes match your gait and you have a better experience. Man, I hope that's helpful. I hope if you made it this far in the video that what you get from this is how to break in your sandals, how to make them comfortable. They are definitely worth it. And I hope that makes your experience that much more enjoyable, because hopefully all this is encapsulated in one thing. Man, it is a great day. I hope that wherever you are, you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. It feels so good to be back making videos for you guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Do all the things, share, tell your friends, send smoke signals. Do something to help me grow this channel, because I love making content for you guys and helping you live better. So until I see you next time, keep climbing.